Hey, this is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking you through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine and really generate some revenue for your business month over month. Now, we take a look at the top here. We're looking at AC repair in Houston, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. So, a lot of potential out there, and even more so when you start to consider the other search terms like, AC installation or maybe AC repair near me. So, there's a lot more volume out there, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to focus on this one search term. However, the methods do apply to other search terms out there. But let's get started talking about, how we could turn these 1,600 searches a month into monthly revenue for your business by starting with your website or on the homepage of your website. And all in all, I think you have a very visually aesthetic website and it serves its purpose, for helping people contact your business. However, from an SEO perspective, there's a lot of things that we can improve on here. And one of those things, or I should say, the first thing we're going to talk about is internal search engine optimization. Now, internal SEO is essentially all the different ways we can improve your search appearance from within your website itself. Now, normally you hear some fancy terms like title tags, heading tags, local business schema, and while those are all very important, for the sake of this video and time, we're just going to focus on the two most important things, which are content and keywords. So let's start with content. Why is content so important? So first off, you don't have a lot of content on your website. And like I said, let's talk about why that's important. So content is very important because Google tends to rank contentful sites a lot more favorably. And it makes sense when you really think about it because content gives users something to engage with. And when a user has something to engage with, it tends to promote a more positive experience. Users who have those positive experience tend to go on and either come back to your website or use Google for future searches. So it's really a win-win scenario for Google to promote your website. Now, we don't just want any content though, because I know I said, a very contentful site is what we want. And normally I recommend about 750 to 1,000 words. But you're probably saying, well, Justin, why don't I just throw up a website with 5,000 words and have it ranked number one? And while that sounds good, it doesn't work because we need to make sure that our content is relevant. And the way we make sure our content is relevant is with our keywords. Keywords are the most used words or phrases on a web page, and based on these keywords, Google's going to determine what your website is about. Normally, I like to tell people that we use our keywords to answer the three main questions for Google, and those are, what do we do, where do we do it, and who are we? So let's see if your keywords answer those three main questions for Google, and talk about, if they don't, how we can answer those questions. And a tool I use called Keywords Everywhere. And if we scroll down here, you'll notice your most used keywords to your least. Now we're really going to focus in on your top maybe 5 to 6 keywords. However, you can always further optimize past that. So number one, I always recommend an industry specific keyword. You have service, and while you are a service business, that's a very broad keyword. So I'd recommend something like air, that which you have at number three, at your number one keyword, because that seems to be the more popular keyword in the AC industry. So number one, we'd have air or AC, and then number two, I always recommend some sort of modifier to that first keyword, some sort of complement. So in this case, let's say we had AC at number one, we'd want repair at number two, or maybe installation at number two. So something that complements that first keyword. Now, number three and four, I always recommend a location-based keyword. Now, location-based keywords are super important because they drive that local traffic. Obviously, you put it at number two, which is great. You understand the priority of that location-based keyword. However, I always recommend putting it at three. So city would be three, so Houston would be number three. Then Texas would be number four. That way we tell Google exactly where we do business. And then number five and six, I always recommend your brand. The reason I tell people to put their brand within their top 10 keywords, specifically at that five and six spot, is because people think just because they own the domain, they automatically rank number one for their business name. And while that's true in some cases, it's not true in many because oftentimes you have a business with a similar name to yours or even with the same name, somewhere else in the world, and ultimately you guys butt heads or try to rank for that number one spot nationally. So put your brand in your top 5 or 6 keywords. Just to rehash everything we talked about, one and two are going to be your industry specific keywords, three and four are going to be your location based keywords, and five and six are going to be your branding keywords. Now, let's take a look at your competitors and see if they follow that model or have some similar layouts. So here we have AirTex of Houston, and they are the number one organically ranking company for AC repair in the Houston area. And let's see why. So what you're going to notice is right away that they have a ton of content on this page. And it's honestly just content, no images, no fancy, plugins, nothing, just straight content along with some other things that are helping them rank. But like I said, you can't just rank on content. Obviously, they have over 1,000 words on this page. But let's take a look at how relevant that content is by checking their keywords. Back to keywords everywhere. And if we scroll down here, you'll notice they have air at number one. Just like I said, very popular AC repair type of keyword. Then number two, they have their location just like you do. Obviously, like I said, I recommend that moving that down to the three spot. Then they have service, home, location, and it kind of starts to vary from there. So like I said, they are ranking on the number one page. So use this as somewhat of a guide along with the things that I told you to kind of create that, most optimized keyword list. That way you can really rank for all the AC terms in your area. But like I said, use this as a guide along with the things I told you, and you should be able to create a really strong keywords list. But let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization. So now we're talking about external SEO, and unlike internal SEO, external SEO is going to be everything that we can do away from our website to increase our search appearance. Now, in this case, we're going to be talking about backlinking. Now, backlinking is very simple. It's just a link from one website to another. However, from an SEO perspective, a lot more is happening when that is going on. When one website links to another, it's essentially transferring SEO power from one web page to the next. But what it's also doing is it's acting as a reference to Google. It's telling Google, hey, I trust the information that comes from this source, or maybe I trust this business. So essentially, when you get a quality backlink from a quality website, it can really help boost your rankings by telling Google that you are a quality site. However, really focus on the word quality because just like a good site tells Google that you're a good site, a bad site can tell Google that you are a bad or harmful site, causing your rankings to tank. Now, you see it all the time. Somebody buys $50 worth of links on Fiverr, and they get 10,000 backlinks, and their site immediately crashes 40 to 50 spots. And that's no mistake because they're getting all these spammy links that are telling Google, hey, don't look at this website, or hey, don't recommend this website to other users. So definitely something to think about. Let's take a look at your current backlink structure using a tool I have called Ahrefs and see what you've been doing so far. In Ahrefs, and as you'll see here, your website currently generates a 1 UR, a 3.3 DR, which puts you in the top 100 for 1.3K keywords. I should say 1,300 keywords, and generates you about 57 users every single month. Now, that's not bad. However, let's take a look at the metrics and kind of explain what they are. So, UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power that goes to a single web page. So in this case, we're just talking about your homepage and the power that it generates. Whereas DR, on the other hand, stands for domain rating, and what that is the power that goes through your entire website. So now we're not just talking about this homepage anymore, we're talking about all these pages, your residential page, your commercial page. All those pages in one is summarized up in DR. So really important that we have the strongest of both metrics along with our internal SEO to create the best results possible. Let's take a look at some of your competitors and see what type of results they've gotten when mixing the two. Here we have AirTech of Houston with a 33 UR, a 36 DR, which generates about 2,300 users every single month and has a traffic value of $64,000 month over month. Now, traffic value is a stat that is determined by Ahrefs, determining on where the traffic is coming from. So let me give you a quick example. Somebody who comes from the search term air conditioners might not carry as much traffic value as somebody who comes from the term AC repair. And now the reason that is that somebody looking for air conditioners might be looking for pictures of air conditioners, maybe an installation, a repair. You don't know what they're looking for. Whereas somebody looking for an AC repair is probably 99% of the time looking for an immediate AC repair service. So they carry a lot more value because you know what they're going to buy, or they have a lot more buyer intent. So that's what that traffic value stat is. And it's really important because you see, these 2,000 viewers are worth $64,000 every single month. So let's keep working our way down the line here. We have Marco's AC with a 19 UR, a 0.8 DR, about 763 users every single month, and about $20,000 worth of traffic value. Then we have Village Plumbing with a 2 UR, a 27 DR, with 137 users every single month, but about $6,000 in traffic value. So you really see the correlation between a strong internal and external SEO structure and the amount of traffic a website can generate. So let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack for a second. So we're back on the search engine results page, and if we scroll down here, what we've been talking about is the organic search results. However, you also have this map pack here. Now, this map pack is super important because it gives businesses a second place that you can win on Google. Like I said, you can win down below or in this map pack, and if you can do both and get the number one rank in both of them, you essentially guarantee that 1,600 people every single month see your business first before looking at another competitor. So very powerful tool here if used correctly. And now you may be asking yourself, how do I get into the map pack or how do I rank in the map pack? So to get in here, you have to verify your business via postcard with Google, which is 100% free. And now to rank in the map pack, you have to adhere to the different factors that they're looking for. The first thing that they look for is that you filled out their form to 100%. The reason I say 100% is because the more information you give them about your business, the more reputable your business looks. Number two is having a strong organic rank. So SEO not only helps down below, but it also influences this map pack. And then number three, you have citations. Now, citations are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. Some popular citations are things like maybe Yelp, the Yellow Pages, Facebook, Instagram. All of those are different citations you can get for your business. But let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has and determine how many you'll need to go in and start outranking them on top of all the other factors we talked about. So here we are in White Spark, and you'll see that we have H-Town AC Repair with 23 citations, ASAP Air with 63, and Richmond's Air with 14. So all in all, not too much competition. Obviously, you do have somebody with 63, and normally I like to recommend that you double the biggest number in there. So you'll probably need 126 citations on top of all the factors we talked about before in order to really go in and outrank this company. So definitely something to think about, and I think this is a very effective strategy that we've seen businesses use in the past. So, like I said, this is all I have for you in this video. I hope it was very educational. Once again, there was a ton of different things that we didn't get to talk about for time's sake. So I'd be happy to set up a meeting to talk about those or about any questions you had about this video. But once again, this is all I have for you. My name is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and thank you for watching.